Hi, and welcome to ProcessMind. This is your guide for today, and I will show you how you can navigate the application. To start a new process, click the process icon on the top and hit the plus. Here you will have two options: upload a BPMN file, which you can also download from our website, or start a new model from an empty canvas. On the left top, you can select which elements you want to drag and drop. Right now charts are selected, but I'm choosing now the BPMN elements. And now I can start drag and dropping my elements. First I have a start event, then I'm gonna use some tasks like step 1 and another task which I'm gonna call step number 2. Then I wanna have an exclusive decision, which I'm gonna give a name yes, no. And of course I need to relate them. By selecting them I can drag and drop arrows to the proper tasks. Even if labels are in my way because an arch is crossing them, I can just click them and move them around. I can also switch to different types of gateways here, for instance, making an exclusive decision. Okay, now I want to rename my step because step 1 is just a very general name. And I want to make a description about my task and what it means. Normally you can really add here your entire Word document or text. For now I'm just going to put in some text, and of course there is highlighting for giving them colors, etc. So now I just created a process model in a couple of seconds. But to really see the power of this tool, I need to add some data to this process with process mining. How to do it is clicking to the Data tab and hit the plus button. Here I can select the data set that I already uploaded or upload a new data set. This can be any kind of format that we support. Right now I'm just selecting a CSV file, and our AI will on the background figure out what the activities are, the case IDs, and every element that is needed to process mine your data. You will see a nice progress bar, and you actually don't need to wait until it's finished. You will get a notification when it's done, but since this is a very small data set, it will be done very quickly. And here we go. Once all my data is loaded, several tabs will appear. The Process Mining tab, the Attributes tab, Activities and Data. Here I can verify if the right fields are connected to the right data and make changes where I think that it's necessary. For instance, the activity names, I want to rename them, and that's what I can do in the Activities tab. For this example, I'm gonna rename the Training Module 1 and the Training Module 2 to something that makes more sense to my activities, so I can later easily map them. Now I'm ready to connect my data to my process model. I do this by hitting the plus button and selecting the dataset that I just added. Now the process mining algorithm will run in the background. This will normally take only a couple of seconds, and it will show me a map of the activities that it found in the data connected with the relations. The dotted lines give me an impression that these are not connected yet to anything in the model, but they are registered in the system. Now I can start mapping the data that was found with the process mining algorithm to my real model. I can just simply drag and drop them on top of each other to map the data found to the real proper model. Of course, not all the things are here, so I want to add these left activities to the model as well by selecting them and clicking Add to the model. Now they are physically inside of my model, and I can start making the relations there, where the dotted lines still give me the impression of the data that will flow through it. You can see if I switch it on and off, or the things that I missed out of the data in correspondence with the model that I created. If more activities were found in the data than actually were mapped in the process model, I can select or deselect the Show Unmapped Activities, which will show me actually the activities that were not mapped. But in this case they are all mapped. Now I'm going to add another data set that I previously loaded to give you the impression of different data sets and how they relate to the model. Automatically it will try to map it again, but module 1 and module 2 is not the same name, so it can't map it automatically. I could now drag and drop it, but for this instance I'm gonna leave it as is. If I now hit the play button, all the data from the two different data sets will be run through the process and will follow all the activities and arcs that I created in my model and was mined through using process mining. I can also change the matrices on my lines to visualize something else than cost. Right? I go there to the Filter tab and select the metric button, where I can select, for instance, throughput time. Now it will represent the number of days or hours that was taken between the two activities in this process model. Now let's enrich the canvas with adding some charts to it. I select the chart bottom on the left, and drag and dropping a bar chart, for instance, to show me the activities. Let's also add an area chart, which will represent the number of events over time. Of course, any attribute can be changed and any data can be attached to these graphs. I do see some strange filtering settings on my events, and that has to do with some previous things I set in my previous model. So let's clear them out, and you will see the full representation over time in this event table. The graphs itself can also be used as filters by just selecting nodes inside of the graph and hitting the filter button on top. This will add a filter on the right hand side, in this case a time range, which I can then change, or add any attribute that I have in my data to become a filter on the right hand side as well. Another nice capability is that I can join these data sets together as one. I can simply select the same color and enable the button to combine the data sets with the same color. In this way, it can easily combine data sets as one or compare them with each other by giving them a separate color. If I lose track a little bit of all my elements on my canvas, I can use the mini map on the right hand button to go and see what elements I have everywhere. Just an easy way of navigating the canvas. Now I have only one important thing to do, and that is giving my process a proper name. Every action is automatically stored in the system, and you can always do a redo or an undo if you desire. We also provide out-of-the-box things that are used often, like an attribute that shows the number of events. These can be filtered or unfiltered, and I'm going to explain what I mean with that. Let's now drag 2 times all events on it. One time I'm not going to touch, the other time I'm actually going to my filter settings and then hit apply filter. What you see now is actually that the events are indeed filtered by the filter that I've set. So let's give it another name, not all events, but now visible events. In this way I can drag and drop easily set components that we created out of the box, and of course you will extend them in the future with more, and then easily you can change them according to your needs. This gives you a quicker way of making visualization, graphs, etc. Of course, everything that I just showed is documented as well with our online documentation. You can go there from out of the app by selecting the question mark on top and to the online documentation, or selecting, for instance, a quick reference guide that gives you some tips on how to navigate through the app. Thanks for watching.